when I saw the people that were in the room, Art Simone is someone that I've looked up to for years and years and years. And to, you know, sit down and go, hey, I know about you, and to get the response that I got was quite horrible, to be honest.
Elektra, welcome to Pop Buzz. It's so good to talk to you. Now today, we're not here to fuck spiders. We're going to be making you a yearbook to celebrate your time on Drag Race Down Under. But there's a catch. You must nominate your fellow sisters in the following yearbook categories. The only rule is you can't nominate yourself.
That sounds fabulous. I hope I remember their names.
Category is Best Look.
I definitely think should go to Kita. I liked the way it was a headpiece challenge, but she was able to encompass like headpiece, but also like light, you know, and I think doing something like LED lights on RuPaul's Drag Race is really hard. You don't know how things are going to show up. You don't know what the lighting's going to be. So I think to pull off a look like that and pull it off so well was very impressive. And I love that look of hers.
Yeah, it made me want to go to a rave.
Yes.
It was just such a fun thing, you know. Well, let's talk about your final episode. You showcased your dancing talent. You looked absolutely gorgeous on the runway, but still in the bottom two, I was absolutely gutted. So what happened, Elektra?
I fucked up. I think in the end, they were just looking for a bit more drag. So whether I needed to add a bit more comedy or whether I needed to be a bit more sexy, I think I definitely did something that was very beneficial to me, you know, and very, very healing for me as well, you know, to perform like that in front of such a large audience after such a long time. But I just think it was probably a bit too serious, you know. I think Drag Race is about having fun and showing what you've got, of course, but in a way that's relatable and easy to understand. I think I probably just made it a bit too dark, a bit too complicated.
You know, I don't think that's particularly fair though. I thought the dance was beautiful, and as you were kind of saying on the show, it's nice to have something different. You know, there's so much drag out there. There's so many things you can do. There's so many amazing artists who are doing incredible things in their creative fields. I thought it was really, really nice that you brought something different.
Thank you. What could you do? I wouldn't change it. If I went back, I honestly wouldn't change it because I felt so light after I danced like that, because you know, when I first choreographed that piece before we went to the show, I thought it was going to be about, you know, opening up. I thought it was going to be about talking about the struggles that I'd been through in my past and, you know, showing an emotional side of me. But what it ended up being, after going through the journey I went on the show, was a release. I had dealt with things that I never thought I would have to deal with on RuPaul's Drag Race, you know, that I never thought were even relevant to RuPaul's Drag Race, that were just, you know, James's issues. But they all came up, you know, and they all got dealt with and they all sort of got resolved, and I sort of was able to then just let go. I think I felt so complete, and it probably helped with the way I left the competition as well, because I felt so full of joy, you know. It was one of the easiest endings, you know, to a time on RuPaul's Drag Race, I guess, because I felt like I'd won.
Yeah, and you looked like you were at peace with what you had achieved, and you were really proud of yourself, and that's always like so enjoyable to watch as a viewer.
Category is Class Clown.
Probably Anita Wiglet was a bit of a goofball the whole time. It's very her style as well, you know, and her shade is very goofy, and, you know, yeah, I'd say Anita, class clown.
I just absolutely adore her. We need you and Anita on All Stars International, please.
Yes, you know, I mean, All Stars is again something now that we never thought we'd ever be considered for, but now that RuPaul's Drag Race Down Under has happened, there's this whole Runiverse that we are a part of that just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, it seems, every single year. So yeah, Anita and I for All Stars, that could be quite cute, couldn't it?
We love it. Now, before you got sent home, you did make the most of your final episode by having a lovely flirty moment with a radiant looking Raven in the walkthrough. Now, have you slid into the DMs yet? What's going on between you and Raven?
I hate to break it to you, but nothing is going on between me and Raven, I'm afraid.
Damn it!
I know, she's beautiful. And I think the thing is, well, I was so starstruck meeting her. I mean, RuPaul is one thing, but I think with Raven, it was the skill and this energy that she embodies, I think. And I admire so much that what she did with her time on RuPaul's Drag Race, and then how she took that and grew it into a career that is so successful. I just really found her to be quite a figure, you know, to see standing in front. There was so much I wanted to ask her, and, you know, time I wanted to spend with her. But you know, who knows what the future holds?
Well, you follow each other on Instagram now, so you never know. Maybe in the future.
Category is Shadiest Queen.
See, this is the trouble. This is the funny one for me because there were shady queens and then there were bitchy queens. And I think there's a difference between the two.
Well, let's talk about them both.
Yeah. So, shady, I think Keita. Because Keita is shady in a fucking clever, funny way. When she read me and was like, man, it was just like, it was so good, you know? And it was well timed and it was on point. It was light and shade. But then, you know, you have people like who were being very, very shady, but it lent more to like the bitchy side, you know? And so, but let's go with, because I think that she fully embodies the art of shade, Ketamine. Ketamine is the queen of shade.
I love that. And, you know, actually my next question was kind of going to talk about the kind of treatment you kind of got from some of the other queens, especially in the earlier episodes. You've spoken about how it was a bit relentless at points and started to grind you down. You know, tell me a bit about that experience, because I feel like we've all been there before, where you meet a new group of people and maybe you don't get the acceptance you want at first, and it feels awful. So, you know, what was that like for you starting on RuPaul's Drag Race?
It was very tough, you know, because I think I walked in there very excited to get to know people. And I think when I saw the people that were in the room, Art Simone is someone that I've looked up to for years and years and years. And to, you know, sit down and go, hey, I know about you, and to get the response that I got was quite horrible, to be honest. You know, it's certainly not what I expected, and it's not how I'd like to think that if I met a young queen, or if I met a queen who had, you know, a little more less experience than me, that I would act, you know. But everyone made the choices they made, you know, and was showing what they wanted to show about themselves. And at the end of the day, it's a competition as well, you know. It is, you're meant to psych each other out and get ahead, and whatever that means, you know. I think a lot of those girls had seen me previously on a show called House of Drag we have here, and so they got to know a little bit about what I was as a performer, and that I have a really strong live performance aspect to my work. So I don't know if girls were threatened by that and maybe thought that they would really draw attention to the fact that my looks were lacking as soon as they could, but yeah, I don't know, it was very tough those first few days, and I definitely got into my head about it. But at the end of the day, I just had to go, fuck yes. Can I swear?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Screw you guys. And it's...
Yeah. Have you had an opportunity to talk to Art about it since, or is it no communication?
No, I've sort of just left it in the world of Drag Race, you know, and I've left it in the workroom. I've messaged Art a couple of times about, you know, pictures she's posted, and, you know, I said back and forth, but, oh, that's cute, you look great, you girl. Like, I've sort of just left it in the universe as it was, because RuPaul's Drag Race truly is a pressure cooker, and I know you probably hear queens say this all the time, but it makes you do things that you probably wouldn't normally do, and it makes you say things that you probably wouldn't normally say. The world becomes very intense, you know, and things that maybe won't be such as important to you outside of Drag Race become the be-all and end-all of your existence, you know. Suddenly impressing 3 people in wigs on a runway is the most important thing in your life, you know. It's crazy. So you know, you take it all with a pinch of salt and understand that everyone's going through their own stuff, you know. I'm sure everyone was just in their heads as I was, you know, going over their looks and thinking about things they did wrong. So I don't hold it against any of the girls.
Yeah, and there's a lot of power as well in taking the high road. I think you've done that, so that's cool.
Category is Miscongeniality.
For me, it would probably be Karen from finance. Karen was a really lovely mentor to me throughout the whole process. She would always be the first one to compliment me on what I did. You know, she could always find something in what I was doing that was good, you know, and that she would help me encourage and help me blossom and grow. And I think there's a lot to be said about how caring she is and how loving she can be. I think that probably didn't come across on the show as much as it should have.
Category is Biggest Bogan.
Me. Well, it can't be
You're
me.
breaking all the rules. You're
me.
breaking all the rules, Elektra. No.
Breaking all the rules. Biggest Bogan. Bogan. I mean, none of them were really Bogan. I mean, to be, none of them really got the Bogan runway either. I think our Bogan runway was the weirdest, like, interpretation. I was the one who felt real Bogan in my one. Like, I was like, but I don't know. Maxi?
Let's go with Maxi. I feel like Maxi fits the criteria very well.
It's general criteria, you know. She can bloody play the role, and I think Maxi could do anything as well. Maxi could do anything, and you would love her because she's so easy to get along with. She took so much time for me as well. That's another one who was just so lovely and so caring.
Oh, that's so nice. Well, you know, I must say, Elektra, you've also kind of won a category unofficially from the fans, which is Trade of the Season. How does it feel to have such lustful fans who clearly adore the way you look?
It's not bad, you know. It's not bad. It's it's crazy though. It is crazy because I mean, what do you do? You know, how do you not get a little bit of a head from that? You know, it's like when you're someone who is trying to improve and you're trying to, you know, work at something that you love so much. To have people backing you just makes it easier. You know, it's so much easier than swimming up river, because that's what I felt like I was doing for so long. And I think to have a completely different experience out of the show and watching the show back with the fans to what I had on the show is just incredible. I feel like a new person, and that's only because of everyone's love. You know, it's totally transformed me.
That's wonderful. Okay, well, we always end these videos with a yearbook quote. So what quote, and it could be absolutely anything, would you like to be remembered by?
If I'm special, so are you.
Oh, that's so wholesome. I love that.
That's so fucking wholesome, man. And that just came out of my brain. Because I've decided that that's sort of what my like new mantra is as well. You know, because like I didn't feel special for ages. And I did. You know, when you're in your early 20s, you have this sort of like fuck you attitude, like I've got what it takes. And as I got older, you start to lose that. As soon as you remember that, you know, everyone is just figuring it out as they go along. No one knows what the hell they're up to. They're all just trying to like ride this little roller coaster towards death and just stay on freaking cart, you know? So just, if I'm as fabulous and if I can do it, and if I could go onto RuPaul's Drag Race with shitty wigs and half-assed costumes that I thought looked fabulous and make it to the top 5, then so can you. Everything is possible.
A very inspiring message to end on. Elektra, plug yourself. Where can we find you? What are you up to next?
Well, I have lots and lots of plans, and none of which I know are going to happen. You can follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is @TheRealElektra Shock. So I always post there when I'm going to be performing and doing my drag bingos and brunches and that and jumping off bars, which we're in everywhere. And I'm just going to travel, to be honest, and get to meet everyone, because that's been the biggest outcome of the show, is the connections with everyone. So I just want to travel, perform, meet you all, and put on some fantastic shows as soon as I can.
Oh, we can't wait to see it. Elektra, it's been so lovely chatting with you today. Good luck with everything and see you soon, hun.
See you soon, honey.